10 ways to repurpose content using Claude code. I'm going to show you exactly how it can be done and how you could build out a system similar to this. Again, this is probably the easiest way to understand it and get yourself familiar with what I've built and how it's being used. The key thing here is we're going to focus on is one piece of content, and that's it. One video into probably 12 different outputs in total. And I'm going to show you exact examples. I'm going to show you exactly the process I would go about doing this. And then lo and behold, you can get access to all this once you join the community. Everything is there for you to use. Most business owners think that repurposing is reposting your content from one platform to the next. It's not. You repurpose one piece of content into a load of different pieces. So one long form into short form, into blogs, into articles, into whatever the case you can think of. Put in your effort into one thinking method, into one thought, and get your idea, go with your idea. And once you're done with that, you can then move on to the next ones. So the way we have it is the anchor piece of content. One 30-minute video. Again, you can see I've started doing this over on my own YouTube now, more and more long form pieces of content, because it's much easier for me to produce different types of content off the back of that. There's no going along restarting and every single day brand new, trying to start a fresh piece of content, rethinking, trying to understand what's working, what's not. And now you can go this method, which is much quicker and pretty much stops burnout. The output of this is going to be 12 distinct formats. We're not going to just repost it onto every platform and put it down as these are all repurposed content. So I'm not going to convert a long form into just a reel for talk's sake, or an article, and post it 12 different places and put that down as there's our 12 posts. It's not. We're going to get 12 different formats, varying from reels, images, carousels, blogs, everything in between. And the key thing here to understand, which most people in this entire AI space are missing, is understanding the importance of why you're repurposing your content. There's no point in repurposing it and putting it into different platforms if there's no goal, there's no strategy involved, and you're just doing it for the sake of doing it. You need to understand what the marketing funnel is. You need to understand the type of content and how it's being structured and worded to get different people to do certain tasks, or I suppose end goals. So what we'll do is jump straight down here and we go through the 12 different outputs. In between this, what I'm going to do is jump in between my own platforms that I'm using, show you obviously through my Claude code how this system is used on a daily basis. So we've took our one long form piece of content, we've grabbed it, whatever you've done, you've took the transcript from it, and with that, this is the starting point. So we have the ability now to convert this into shorts, and what I'll do is I'll show you some of the videos here that I've done, actually I think I did lives on TikTok and I recorded on TikTok. So if you're familiar with doing lives on TikTok, you can always have a vertical format. So you can have the screen at the top, yourself in the bottom, and it makes it really easy to convert these into individual shorts and reels without having to do any extra work. So you can see all these ones here have been generated by me using that exact method. So I do the live, keep the live recording, I then run it through the system and it exports it. So it just clips them all down for me. I don't have to do anything here in all these reels that I've generated. Again, you can see I do jump between different variations and styles of reels, constantly doing that just to see what's working and what's not. But again, you can see the benefit of doing it from that way. It's getting your long form piece of content out into different variations and formats. So number one was obviously YouTube Shorts, which is obviously just short form content. Again, we have Instagram Reel, TikTok Reels. The big thing here is it does this purpose. It builds awareness. We're not looking to convert people into whatever you have for offering. Yes, you may have call to actions involved, but the thing about it is you have to remember that this is a focus on trying to get people to be aware of what you're actually doing on a daily basis and just familiarize yourself with them, I suppose, is the key thing. We then move on to threads. We can get X posts, Twitter threads, Instagram carousels, and image quotes. So again, if we jump over here, all I do inside of this system is I tell it, okay, repurpose my content. You can see over here on the left hand side, I'll try and zoom in there, on the left hand side, and you can see the content repurposing factory. Again, this is what it does. And if I just quickly show this image again, this is probably the easiest way to visualize what has been built. So I input the SRT file. I wanted to build a carousel for me. Over here, all my learning information, all the source of truth information, which again is all up here in the top of it. So again, it's global assets. So you can see all my content strategy, my learnings, everything is built into this. So it understands and it starts to realize what's working and what's not working. So I can come along, make changes as we need. Pretty much tell it to create a carousel. It off it goes into the factory, all my individual skills that work on a task. So again, you can see here, hopefully the carousel skill. And with that, what happens is it generates information, sends it over here to Higgsfield, and from there, it pretty much generates my carousels and sends them back to me that they're in my own system. And you can see here the images, just that I just done for this video. And it generates the images, the carousels, and sends them back to me. So again, repurpose one long form piece of content already into this. You can see within a few minutes, we've already generated up to 4 or 5 different pieces of content. For the people that question and ask in terms of this short form content, if you're recording and you're recording exactly like I am now, the way I do it is it gives me the description of the type of post or reel I need to make. So yes, I do have to manually record these. And if you see it over here, these are all the reels that I have ready to kind of go now. And if I just click on one, you're going to see a very short description of what I'm trying to do here. So the screen hook is pretty much the text that's going to be displayed for the thumbnail. We then have the spoken hook, and again, these are just going to be tested and tracked. When they're posted, I track these. I can see if they work, didn't work. If they did work, keep them. If they didn't, we get rid of them. Simple and straightforward. Then we have our overall angle that we're going to be doing for the piece of content, and that's it. So I tend to try and change small bits of information for each platform. So I may change the screen hook for Instagram or the screen hook for TikTok. I may not change it in some cases, but again, you can see what we're doing there in that point. Instagram carousels, image quotes, same thing. We're going to be doing the exact same process in through the system. Once we get into that, it's going to send it to Higgsfield. Higgsfield then is going to generate the information, and we're going to get something like these images, or if they're quotes, I think they're further down. But you get all the information that you want from doing this process. So we have 6 pieces of content doing this method. We repurpose all our content. We're still focusing heavily on awareness. We're just trying to make people aware of our content and familiarize themselves with us. And again, if we jump over to Instagram, you can see here the type of content that comes out. It varies massively. Again, in an awareness stage, and the same with TikTok. If it loads up, we're still in that phase of awareness stage, trying to get people to be aware of what we're doing. And this is pretty much the same on YouTube. Again, building up brand awareness, get people familiar with what you're doing, and that's the key. So we've generated 6 pieces already. These 6 pieces haven't taken us a massive amount of time. If you're doing it manually, you know it's going to take you ages to do it. Now, the biggest time consumed here is these ones, unless I do more lives, which again will save me time. If you're able to do lives, TikTok, and you just focus on that, you can produce a massive amount of content information without really having to do a massive amount of work. So our next stage is LinkedIn long form posts. We're going to use this as nurture. We're going to use blog posts again as nurture. And again, we can have infographics to nurture as well. So if I quickly open up here. So this is an example of, I use this for Instagram or for LinkedIn, more so for that whole idea to give information. So this happened the other day. Google announced that they're pushing more of their content towards AI. So will Google search be gone? And the question here was, I just gathered up as much of the information as I could that was live, posted, got it to generate, AI to generate an image for me. And from there, it's pretty much ready to schedule. Again, scheduling is made much easier with AI. So our blog post is the next big one. And what I'll do quickly is show you this. So these are blog posts I have ready and scheduled at this moment in time. You can see pretty much all of them are bang on, with the exception of this one. I had to look at that. And if I just quickly look at a preview here. So AI marketing tools for Irish small businesses, what's actually working in 2026. We then have another one here, which is down here. I think this is one of my videos. So you can see this is from one of my recent videos that I just made. And again, what I've done is I've repurposed that video into its own article. Again, content repurposing system, similar keywords that are on social or on YouTube and on the blog article. So now what's happening is they're going to help me potentially get traction and get ranked and come up in search basically, and AI search. Again, massive opportunity there. I think most people are pretty much ignoring still. We have internal links for Obviously, the marketing hub, again, book a free discovery call, again, if they're interested in it. Again, I offer and all that if anyone is interested. But we have that. We jump straight back over here again to this section. And I mentioned we have the infographic. All these, again, focusing on the nurture stage. And just to show you quickly, this is my blog articles. So these are all the articles I posted. 21,000 impressions, 141 clicks. I will be the first to admit that I want a higher clicks. 141 is not great, I think, for 21,000 impressions. I need to try and get this up a little bit higher if I can. Average position is 8th position, so I'm pretty much all my content seems to be ranking around just between the first and second page. Some terms I'm already ranking number 1 for, especially local terms, which was a major driver for me in this entire setup. But again, it's given me the opportunity to potentially generate more traffic, more leads, more customers by doing these methods. Yes, they're a little bit longer, but as I said, with the AI, it helps massively. In terms of the content with AI, if we jump in here, I have over here in the blog articles. So all these articles are pretty much generated with the help with AI. I'm not going to beat around the bush about it. It is pretty much 70%, 80% generated with AI. Obviously, the images 100% are AI created. Other than that, we go through them, we change elements that don't make sense. We optimize. Again, you can see here it's all for locally for Ireland. What else have we got? What stage you're at, what most Irish business owners get wrong, support. Again, it's information to help people cut through all the nonsense that's out there. And hopefully, as I said, the aim here is to try and generate small traffic to the website and eventually to sales and calls and stuff like that. So the last section we have here is the last 3, I suppose. Now, I'm not doing this at the moment myself. It's something I'm not 100% sure whether it works for what I'm doing, because it's very visual, I suppose, side of things. But you have the opportunity to turn your videos into podcasts. Simple and straightforward. Extract the audio, turn it into a podcast. Now, not only do you have one YouTube video each week, you have a podcast episode every single week as well, which again could be a massive opportunity. Some people, your information that you're talking about online or on YouTube might be easy to transition over to like the podcast. If it does, it could be a brilliant opportunity for you as well. In terms of email newsletter, if you have a sign up form, again, people sign up to your newsletter. One of the big things here is you want to be building up a newsletter or an email list anyway, because you need to own your audience. But the big thing about it is now you can kind of generate maybe a weekly newsletter. You can give a roundup of all your YouTube videos. All the links, all the information can be sent to them. So now they have another way to absorb the information that you've created. It doesn't mean you're going to create a brand new newsletter, but again, it's just information that's there for you. And for me, school community posts, it's something that I'm looking at a bit closer now. Trying to get a bit more, obviously, engagement and activity inside the community. And this is another way to convert your videos into content material that can kind of dive deeper inside the community, which is the key thing I'm wanting to do. So if I touch on a subject like repurposing, then inside the community, I'll talk about exactly what it is, how it's done. And then in here, the workflows and systems, I pretty much give access to all the different systems that I'm using and how I'm using them, and clear instructions of how to install it yourself. Again, it's, most people are charging thousands to implement all this into your business, into your own ideas, whatever you're doing. Pretty much when you join the community for $23, 23 euros, you get access to all this. There's nothing locked behind paywalls. If you can see here, everything is just drafts ready for me to open up as I progress and as things grow. So these are the big 12 ways. I suppose I mentioned 10, but these are the 10 ways to repurpose content, or 12 ways to repurpose content. And as I mentioned, the clear understanding of your marketing funnel. This is where so many people are going wrong. They post their content and they're just pretty much hoping for the best, and they're repurposing pieces of content with no structure, no understanding what's happening. So if you're not familiar with the marketing funnel, you need to get familiar with it if you're running a business. But you have content, top of the funnel awareness stage, YouTube Shorts, Instagrams, TikToks, Threads, all that kind of stuff. These are the things that are going to be there for the next maybe 24, 72 hours. More than likely, they're going to start to disappear through your feed and might pop up every so often. But other than that, that's it. It's just purpose to build awareness. In terms of the middle of the funnel, which is nurture, it could be podcasts. It could be your YouTube long form content like I'm creating here. LinkedIn long form blogs and infographics. I would argue a little bit that LinkedIn probably goes up here a little bit more because it is turning into that kind of awareness system as well. Blog posts, again, you can see nurture content takes a bit longer to build up. So again, blog posts, YouTube long form, podcast, of course, and infographic. I would probably throw up into the top one, depending on the type of infographic you give. If I'm given an infographic like this, it can go on social. If I'm given an infographic like this, again, it's on social, but the two of them are different. The Google one, for example, could potentially nurture and kind of showcase your bit more expertise in that area. At bottom of funnel is obviously email, newsletter, and school post community. So obviously for me, this would be when the community was free. The ability to have school posts that can potentially turn them into paying clients or customers. Reason I've moved away from the whole free aspect is because I just am a firm believer that most of the stuff needs to be people can access it fairly handy, and that's why I built out this. For me, the show and the example here, and exactly how I show it over in the community, is I drop a transcript into my anti-gravity or into Claude. In here, I pretty much just get the transcript, throw it in, and if you can see, I have inputs up here. We have videos, transcripts. So these are all recent videos that have been worked on. And all these videos pretty much are ready to kind of repurpose for me right now. So if I just turn around and say, repurpose my content, whatever the case it is, it's going to do. Claude reads all my brand information. Like I said over here, all the brand information is after being read. It then goes through all the systems, like over here again, all the individual agents start working on it. So carousels, reels, presentations, frameworks, image posts, infographics, all that kind of stuff starts to generate. Each one of them gets their own individual caption. So TikTok captions won't be the same as Instagram or the same as LinkedIn or Facebook or whatever. From that allows me then to get 12 outputs on brand, on the topic I put into. Now, the key thing to remember, and I'm not sure if I have it down here, but the key thing to remember is if your input content is absolutely no good, more than likely the rest of the content is going to be the same. You need your input content to be decent, to be delivering some sort of value. I hope at this moment in time I'm helping people understand the importance of repurposing content, but understanding from the marketing point of view that it needs to be doing some sort of job and task for you. And that's going to be a key thing. And just to show, I suppose, the same 12 outputs, same brand, and doing it this way with the Claude and the system I built out in the marketing OS, this is what it is. And this takes me 15 to 20 minutes, probably get everything done. I can run this and I can jump in and start recording these reels, depending on how badly I make mistakes and decides how much editing I have to do on it. If it's a case I have only a little bit of few mistakes in it, I can then edit them fairly quickly. If it's a case I have loads of ums and haws, then it's going to take a bit longer. And again, that's just being honest and real with everyone. So we generate a full batch. All 12 formats have been done, 15, 20 minutes, give or take. Manually, yeah, this is going to take you days. Simple and straightforward because you have to go through all the work. Again, I made a video on this yesterday of the day-to-day grind of trying to do this. And this method over here is the method you need to be using because you can adapt it, you can adjust it, you can change it, you can improve it, and over time it will improve more and more for your business. Whereas this is you're constantly trying to chase it, you're constantly battling on that. What ends up happening is you don't post, and if you don't post, you start from nearly zero again in a couple of days' time. I'm not saying you need to bombard socials with 100 posts a day, but I'm saying you can have the ability to build this out if you wanted to do that. Again, I have to test different things out to see does it work by posting more, posting less. Again, quantity, everyone has different opinions on it. Some say more, some say less. You decide what works for you and what's the easiest. And the reason for this is obviously coverage. Every funnel stage gets fed. No more posting 6 awareness clips and 0 conversion emails. Consistency is a big one here that hits a lot of people. Same voice, same pillars, same call to actions throughout all your content. Manual writing drifts between platforms. The system does not change from that. Then compounding, 12 outputs per video, 4 videos a month, 48 pieces of content. Again, if you work that out, that you're posting that onto maybe 10 different social media platforms, now technically you're up to 480 pieces of content being posted every single month on your social, which is crazy to think of. And on the social side of things, I use Potato. It allows me to interact over here with Claude. I can tell it schedule my content. It schedules it all out for me. I showed this nearly every video I make, pretty much how this is done. And like I said, what Claude cannot do, we mentioned this already, is the source has to come from you. This is my argument with AI, and my argument with people in general that say AI is crap, AI is whatever. If your source piece of content, you didn't even put any effort into it, and you just created something from thin air, or you just turned around and asked ChatGPT to give you a topic and asked it to give you a big article on something, what's going to happen is none of your information is going to come through. None of your word, none of your, I suppose, tone is going to come through. However strong you have AI built to understand your tone, if your core information is not following that, chances are the content downstream of that is not going to be great. And that's all. So for me, I put in a lot of effort and time into my day to create the one long form piece of content, because I know my socials are kind of managed 100% with that. Whereas it was taking me hours to create a few reels, and I'd have to spend hours trying to create a YouTube video, and over time you just get burnt out with it. But again, just put the effort into the long form. Again, if anyone has got this far in the video, I would appreciate you let me know in the comments what you think, what you'd like to see change. Do you like this method I have for going through the videos to kind of help people, I suppose, cover the entire video and understand exactly where everything is? So that is the key thing. That's pretty much it. That's how you can do it. Again, like as I said down here, whatever about Comment and Hub, but if you're interested in learning more about this or want this exact system, definitely look at joining the community. The link is going to be below in the description. Might be in the comments, I'm not really sure. $23 a month or euros a month. I have it set like this. If you're coming from euros, school don't allow you to change it to euros, which is annoying. So I just have it 23. If you're paying euros, it's going to be obviously less. So that's pretty much it. What else have we got? Yeah, less than $1 a day basically for it. And you have access to, as I said, everything inside that. Once the community starts to build up, I will want to do more live calls. Most of my work will be done in here. And I am a firm believer that everyone should have the ability to have the information given to them in such a way that makes it much easier to implement it on a day-to-day basis. So that's it. Thanks very much for watching, and I hope everyone has a great day.